entire time on our agenda. We have visitors here tonight. First of all, if you haven't been before, I'm Donna Whitlock. I'm the Central City Neighborhood President. And if I can do anything for you or you have any questions, let me know. And the way we do the meeting is that if you have a question, this is for the protocol. And after the speaker speaks, raise your hand. But if there's other people and he calls on you first, wait till the other people have their time for their question. They'll circle back around and give time for me. Okay. So, and I sound like Minnie Mouse because I've been having to use my asthma. Okay. Second. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start because the last two times our fabulous firemen have gotten called out. They came in and waited, and then they had to leave. So we're going to start our meeting off with our Birmingham fire from Station 1, which is ours. No, don't be shy. Good afternoon. Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good. My name is Lieutenant Williams. I'm with Birmingham Fire Rescue Service Station 1. We're right down here on 1808 7th Avenue North, across from the courthouse. Sorry. Okay. So I just wrote down notes because I tend to forget. So hydrant testing every year or every other year, we test our hydrants, making sure they're working properly. We paint them and just do maintenance like clear the weeds and stuff like that. So all that's been done for this year. Last month, Station 1 ran a total of 1,974 calls just last month. And that includes fire calls, medical calls, and everything that falls in between. We're still giving out free smoke alarms. They're available through our public education department. If anybody needs one, the phone number to our public education department is 205-250-7520. And you just call and make an appointment. And they'll send us out to your residence. Be mindful of the dangerous heat levels. Make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Know the symptoms and the signs of heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Call us if you need us for anything. That's pretty much all we have. So, did anybody have any questions for the fire department? So I can break it down like and that's just one station, and that's not even broken down between the squad, the rescue unit who does the majority of the medical calls, and then the truck who does the fire calls. Right? Yes, sir.
Do the speed bumps that are downtown have an impact on the trucks going out?
It doesn't have an impact on our response because, of course, we have to clear an intersection before we go through it anyway. So we're going to slow down when we come to an intersection anyway. But if anything, not really. No. If it's somebody like that guy right there, he's going to fly over it anyway. Anybody else? All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I want to say thank you for coming and that we've had y'all in our hearts because y'all been through so much last month. So thank you, and we appreciate y'all so much. All right, next up, we got Miss Margaret Splain from the Birmingham Public Library, and she's going to tell us all of the exciting programs we have going on. And you know, if you take the time to look through the brochures, there are a lot of great things. It's really educational.
You haven't already gotten a little packet of upcoming events. I have some extra ones. I just wanted to talk about the events that are coming out at Central next Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 on the ground floor right here where we are right now. We're showing a film called A Radio Hero. It's about Paul Wright, who's one of the most important announcers during the civil rights movement in Birmingham. Next Monday, well, the following Monday, August 28th, we're partnering with Birmingham City Schools to have a rally for reading, which is a fun family literary night with games, dancing, education, giveaways, etc. And that will take place at the cost for the Bill Harris Arena. And that's Monday, August 28th at 5 p.m. The unbody September 1st, the first Friday of every month we have our Barn and Breeze program. And it starts at 6:30 here, and it will be a poetry slam competition. And we encourage visitors in spoken more poetry and beer to come to that. Friday, September 15th at 6 p.m. here, we have a free educational event for business entrepreneurs. It's called Casual Consultation, and we'll have a keynote. And then moving into October, on Thursday, October 5th, we're having a huge citywide resource and health fair that will celebrate Health Literacy Month. And we'll have all the free health screening, health resources, and even job opportunities in the healthcare field. Is there any questions?
You're gonna use your charge. I know somebody wants to ask that. For the bars and beer, is there a charge for that? For the tickets? It's free. Free. Yeah. All these events are free. Next, we got Ms. Bill Williams. She's here early and knocked somebody out of the loop, but it's
Good evening. As was stated, I am Belma Williams. I am the crime prevention officer for the Birmingham Police Department North Precinct. And I want to share with you this evening, I put some brochures on the table back there. One is about child identification permanent residence. As you know, we've had a news scare about someone being abducted. Fortunately for us, unfortunately for her, it wasn't true. However, it did bring it to the forefront of our minds. We think Birmingham is small town and everything's quiet, but it could happen here. So we want to make sure that you are equipped with information what you need to have on your child or anyone that you may have influence over with children to make sure they have appropriate information to be able to report to the police if something were to happen, especially people who have non-custodial parents. That happens a lot. So make sure that you know, and if you like me, you can't remember what you had on Sunday. So it may be very difficult for you to explain what your child had on when they left to go to school this morning, what kind of backpack they have, which pair of sneakers did they have on, you know? You may forget to tell the police that they're wearing braces now, or they have contacts in. These are things that don't come to your mind when you're upset. So write it down, and then you'll be able to give accurate information. There's also information on that about abductions, so we want to make sure that you have this information in hand. Secondly, there was a brochure about being safe at home. All of us feel like when we're in our home, we're in our haven. But there are other people who want to be in your home as well. So let's make sure that we're taking tips and that we're making sure that our place is as safe as it can be, making sure that we are fastening everything, that we're locking everything, that we're checking windows to make sure that those locks still work. If you have sliding doors, that you are not relying on a broomstick to keep it from being broken into, because that does not work. You have to go in by a lock to go at the top, okay, to keep them from rocking, okay? Secondly, thirdly, if you are one of those people who have invested in a Kia or a Hyundai, they are high items right now. And we do have locks at the precinct that you can come, but you must sign for them because we cannot just pass them out, okay? Questions, comments, or concerns? Thank you. You remember those old locks that used to advertise, what they call them, the club? Yeah. There's something with the engineering. Now I saw online last week that the newer ones, the 24s, are supposed to have that element fixed. Most of us probably don't have 24s yet because I don't even know if they're out yet. So if you have 23 or earlier, they're prime property to be stolen right now. I mean, there are even tutorials on the internet as to how to steal.
Yeah, one time, if you have been at your house, your grandmother's house, and they had a rose stick, keeping the glass door shut, raise your hand. There you go, I knew it.
But it doesn't work. I got robbed like that. I personally got robbed like that. They can rock the door enough to get it off the tracks, and you'll come home and your door will look like this, and your broomstick will still be in the track.
Okay. We're gonna have Michael come up. Michael's son is from Red Birmingham, and he's gonna tell us the things that are going on there. New things happen.
I can keep it very quick, like,
Yeah.
there are new things that are going on downtown. I think we all know the issues are happening. So just a couple things that I know will be coming up very soon for all that might affect some of you down here. If you haven't heard, that First Avenue North will be closed on Thursday and Friday between 20th and Richard Harrington Jr. around Mark's building. They're gonna be removing more stuff off the roof from there, so there'll be a crane blocking. Remember a couple months ago they had that there. So that'll happen this Thursday and Friday. Right now they have it planned from 8:30 on Thursday until 6 p.m. on Friday. So it might affect some people's commutes. If there's any alternative routes that you need, those should be posted. If not, we'll probably be sending something out from our downtown downtown BHM email address. If you have not signed up for that, you're welcome to go to downtownbhm.com. We send out monthly newsletters and we send out alerts as well. Donna does such a great job of doing that. And sometimes she takes whatever letter. But we do have a lot of stuff that comes from her, but if you want to sign up for those, Rev goes on that page. And so we kind of collect all the data about that. I know that there's a lot of chatter and things about parking enforcement and things that are happening downtown. I don't know, I didn't see Christina who came in, but I know that there are some things in the works for that, and I'm super excited about, but I also don't want to talk until things are put into place. But we will be calling on some community members, I know, to help us out with those. Just some of the, I know there's certain spots, particularly during the daytime for us, Fifth Avenue North in front of Chick-fil-A, people just kind of prop up there. And on the weekends and on nights in certain other areas. So there is some things in the works for that. So just to kind of tease that out there.
Quick question. Okay, is parking free after 5 and on the weekends on the street?
It is, but it's not supposed to be in a sense. That's an odd question to answer, yes, because I mean, we all know that it's free on the weekend, yes, weekends and after 6, signs posted. Per se, do they still expect people to park? Yes, but are there parking enforcement officials out there after 6? But I don't know what's, that's, I mean, I don't pay to park after 6, but I use the parking app every day during the daytime. We just posted something out there today, I think, on our web page, our downtown BHM page. Kind of just some updates on the parking, not updates, but more of a tutorial. So anyone who's walking around seeing, I don't know how to park down here, the decks. I know we had Andre last month talking about the decks that have been reformed. Those are an opportunity. Street parking itself, it's 8, let's say 8 to 6 from there, 2-hour parking. And there are flex lanes on 20th Street, 10 to 15 minutes, hop in and go. There are a lot of people who are getting tickets on 20th Street right now with the flex lanes, so I have that in there for parking too long. And then, I won't worry all the time with our 20th Street stuff, but all the dead plants are about to be pulled, and new stuff is coming the 1st of October because they told us if we planted new plants right now, they don't have it because it's so tolerant. So we already have a plan together for that. We have a whole strategy will keep us longer. Any questions?
For the flex lanes, you said that they're being ticketed. Are they going to be towed or just a ticket?
They're just ticketed right now.
Okay.
Parking enforcement's going out there and giving the tickets. If they're there between us, our friends in the group, it's 10 minutes posted on the signs. Parking enforcement gives them about 20 minutes. If they make a lap and they see them still out there, they will place a ticket on their car. So that is helping us keep those lanes open those flex lanes, because we want them there for people who are making quick stops. You're running in, either grabbing something to go to eat, you're running UPS to FedEx right there. The whole point is to keep those open. So if you do see someone there longer than 15 to 20 minutes, they will get a ticket.
That's just till 6 as well.
That's just till 6. That should be 24 hours. Again, parking enforcement. I'm out there ticketing someone at 8 p.m. But I don't want to be doing that. Or do I have the authority to do that? But I think that when we assume their working hours now.
A lot of the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants valet park.
Yes, and I see that when I walk the dog on 20th, that it irritates me. But that has to be enforced in some other particular way. There is talk again with the park enforcement, setting bounds, but to increase capacity. So all that will come through. That will be affected by that.
Some of our guests are not here yet, so, okay, we're gonna, we've got Rochelle Malone, who's the granddaughter of Dr. Gaston, and she's here to speak about requesting Fifth Avenue North to be renamed after Dr. A.G. Gaston. She's gonna share a brief presentation. Good afternoon. I just discovered that I just walked out and didn't have anything that I'm planning to have for you all today, but it's been one of those days, one of those months. I just recently lost my son. He was a firefighter and lost his life on July 17th, Jordan. So I'm just happy to be here. But I've come in an effort to petition your support to change Fifth Avenue North to Dr. A.G. Gaston Boulevard. My family and I began this quest in 2019 with the city of Birmingham. And here we are, 2023. It's been a long, tedious process. But I believe that we are now at the light at the end of the tunnel. And one of the components in the process is to receive approval from the communities that are connected to Fifth Avenue North to approve this request on our family's behalf. I have reached out to several businesses all along Fifth Avenue North. We're looking to rename the street from where Fifth Avenue North begins, where Graymont ends, all the way down to the post office. So that is the request we put in. If you ride along Fifth Avenue North now, you will see 2 honorary signs that have been put up. Those were placed when we made the request in 2019, but that wasn't what we were asking for. We wanted a permanent renaming. My grandfather planted his businesses on Fifth Avenue, right on the corner of where the park sits, the Civil Rights Institute, the motel, the A.G. Gaston building, and the Shores, Attorney Shores building sits. A lot of the businesses on Fifth Avenue would not be if it had not been for my grandfather. Whether it was purchasing a property from him or him securing loans, paying off mortgages for businesses for them to have, providing financing for certain attorneys to go to law school. There are businesses all along Fifth Avenue that have his name on it. And this is something really that should have been presented to our family as an honor to memorialize him. But we have had to request this. So I'm here asking you
if you would support the renaming of Fifth Avenue North to Dr. A.G. Gaston Boulevard. He, anybody in here not know who Dr. A.G. Gaston was? Okay, that makes my job easier. So if you know anything of any little thing about him, which there's not much little about him, everything he did was grand, and he did it in a grand way. Not in a self-serving or self-seeking way, but in a way that would serve others. And that's what made his name great. Therefore, I ask, and I present to your association today, and prayerfully, you all will move and vote to approve this request that we rename Fifth Avenue North to Dr. H. Gaston Boulevard. Any question? Yes.
The memorials that are there, you said they're not permanent, is there any way? I like the grid system. I find that you have more of a memorial in addition to the Fifth Avenue. Can we do something like that, like a sub-sign, the Fifth Avenue memorial to your grandfather, and not change the street so that we're not, when I give directions, I can say, it's for street, you know, when you go third, fourth, fifth, and not to say, you know, there's boulevard in the middle.
Well, you know, I'm not transportation, but to kind of shed some light on your concern, as far as directions go, to my knowledge, there won't be an upset with that, just as we have Richard Averton Boulevard, just we have Shuttlesworth Drive, just we have
For example, now we know streets from north and south, and avenues from east and west. Boulevard, as you pointed out, Richard Averton Boulevard is north south.
right. Well, that's just the name that we decided on. I would prefer it not be a memorial sign. He deserves to have a street sign. So that's been the request. I hear what you're saying, but that has not been a huge concern from the major businesses that we've talked to. Their concern is why hasn't it already happened? Businesses that I've spoken to are. Businesses that I've spoken to are. Those major businesses, they use 20th Street. They don't use Fifth Avenue. Their major address. Mailing address.
Do we know what the expense would be? And
To the community, none. There's no expense to the community. The expense comes from the family, those of us that are requesting the change.
and how does it work with maps, and all that, like, something, like, I don't know all that.
Again, that's a transportation question that I can't answer.
Okay.
You would, how they configure that, I don't know, because I know that Avenue North will still be in existence.
Okay.
As it relates to maps and things of that nature, but be renamed. Does that make sense? So when people are looking for addresses, even if they put in Fifth Avenue North, that will still bring them to where they need to go. From my experience with maps.
So it sounds like you're talking about maybe like a 12-block area. Is that right?
I think it's about 12 to 10 to 12.
And in that 10 to 12 block, you contacted the businesses. Most of the business and all of them are in agreement.
All the ones that we've talked to.
Would that be 50%?
Yeah, a little over 50%.
Okay, and the other question, Boulevard, so would they also consider, AG Gaston Avenue? Since there was a concern about Boulevard versus Avenue.
That will be something that I have discussed with my family. We made the request and we said, the name we came up with was at Dr. AGS in Boulevard.
So, but you don't know if your family would object to Avenue.
I don't know.
And one more question,
Okay,
have you been before the Birmingham City Council?
that's my next appointment. I mean, I've talked to council members and council is on board. Councilman O'Quinn is very, supportive of this project. It supports, because it's the district, and so, it's just the formality now, I'm just standing before and they voting on the document.
So it seems as if you have done all your homework, so, Madam Chairman, would it be in order to move that this organization supports the request?
I'm gonna make sure that
Oh.
everybody's got questions.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, if anybody's got questions, ask. Yes.
I'm just gonna propose, since this is recorded and we send out the recording, it might be more appropriate to vote in the next, or have like an additional meeting in between the next to vote, just because there's people that watch this that aren't in attendance.
How many sign?
Right now we have Vanessa in, but this video goes out to
Oh,
everyone.
we
It's sent out to
send
over 300 people in the neighborhood.
We send out the post. You know, we send it out, we let people know that this was something, you know, I didn't say we're gonna vote, but you could be represented. And then it's a lot of that might go out. So, Terry, anybody else got questions or?
Could you please see my chat?
Um, We have a question from someone online. How long would the transition process be before the name change on the street would take place? Is there a timeline for the adoption of if this gets approved, I guess what would that timing be?
That I can't answer. That's a question that probably be addressed at the next. And so my next meetings after this is I go to council and the committee, the PIC committee. That might be a question that they will answer or information that they will provide me once the preliminary items, which include the community association meeting.
Have you been given a date yet as to when you'll meet the council?
Yes, the Tuesday after Memorial Day, so September 5th, Labor Day, sorry. Labor Day. Thank you for your time. Thank you. I reached out because this was the first to add this on the agenda about this type of vote for us. And what I received from Andre and him was, that's Andre, our 14, Mr. Watson, is that we can vote today. And at first I thought that they would have to bring a paper like we do when we do for alcohol license and stuff, but it's not. So we can vote today. And then if you document the vote, send that over. And also then if you still have strong feelings pro or con, for or against, you can also attend the city council meeting and present how you feel about it, if you like it or you don't. And I know there's a lot of mixed emotions. And if you have something to say, this is your time.
Look, the thing is, have precedent for this. Rich Berry, Abraham Wolf, we've got other important leaders in the community that streets have been named. This is not like it's a, big different thing. I think that's important to think about, is the fact that we have honored other people important person in development of the community.
In 5 years, nobody will care for the streets. They, when they're looking for directions, they'll know it.
Sure, true.
Anybody else?
Yeah, they just use them.
I wanted to add, I'm here on Facebook, on Zoom, I'm sorry, Vanessa. I understand the name changing, but it's important to know that, by definition, an avenue and a boulevard are two different things. An avenue is basically a straight line, is straight road with trees on each side. And then the boulevard is actually has a median and has trees on both sides. So just FYI, because if I'm not mistaken, Fifth Avenue is a one-way. So can it remain as an avenue, right?
Sorry that
Thanks,
we're doing
Vanessa.
our Zoom this way. Usually we have a big screen and everything, but the Wi-Fi's been out at the library for over a week, so Hannah, thank goodness, had a guest. Okay, so thank y'all. Is anybody else, any comments, questions?
So where are we now? Are we getting ready to vote?
Well, it's gotta be put on the floor, yeah.
I thought I asked, okay, so.
No, I wanted to wait
Am I
until
in
we got,
order now?
sir,
Am I in order now?
yes,
To make
yes,
a motion?
yes.
I move that we accept the proposal coming from the spokesman for Dr. What's his name?
Yes.
We began.
I would like to second.
Second. Okay, all in favor? Oh, if you have to live in Central City to vote, sorry. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, I did not count. Do you have a number for?
Yes, four. You're opposed or?
That 4? How many?
Yeah, but you have everybody on the call.
Vanessa, did you want to vote? Because you're on the call. You can just type it in the chat.
I couldn't hear it wasn't clear what Donna was saying.
They're, hold on one second. Hold on one second, but they're voting in favor of the name change for Fifth Avenue to Dr. A.G. Gaston Boulevard.
Mhm.
You can just type it in the chat and I'll get your vote.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put you on blast.
Okay, thank you.
And then the people, the two that motioned it, we need to count them as in support. So we'll add to the 4 the 2. That should be 6 in favor. How many opposed? Do we need to vote? 5? Okay.
And we've still got to count. Or just count. But I'll look at that. Any other comments, questions? I don't know what happened to a couple of our things. And I'm also 9 o'clock, so. Okay, so next we're gonna bring up our police officers.
Everybody, I'm Lieutenant Milton, in 4th Precinct. I could go through all this. I feel like everybody required to just ask questions, and if there's something that's uncovered, I can address it. So, start off. Anybody have any questions for us?
Because we, since you made it, it's been on parallel street. If you notice, especially those.
We've actually tracking engineering once they changed it.
Well,
It does affect what we're doing.
What's his question?
Can you hear?
I can hear the mic, I can't hear you.
okay. I was asking, since they changed the speed bumps down First Avenue, we went parallel with the lanes instead of across the lanes, and it made a difference in there.
I would say we still receive calls on.
I would say that we still receive calls on street racing, exhibition driving, everything like that. But when I get down there, I don't really observe it happening. Yes, the cars are loud, it's how they're built. But I don't see as much of the dangerous driving going down First Avenue. I'm not seeing anybody do donuts in the intersections anymore, but I do understand that people that do live on First Avenue, the vehicles are loud. But I would say some movement of change. I'm not seeing as much of it in the downtown areas.
So that's your question? Yes, sir.
I moved downtown about 5 weeks ago. And on any Saturday night, Friday night, sometimes Sunday night, there's racing up and down First Avenue. Sunday night, Sunday morning about 4:30, there's a donut on First Avenue and 20th Street.
And about what times is this happening?
It was between 4 and 4:30, Sunday morning. And there's this big donut now on 20th Street and First Avenue. I've spoken to the council person who represents the area and a member of the mayor's office, and that's kind of why I'm here tonight, to find out what's going to be done. Now, I do understand that there's something called home rule. I don't know who's familiar with it and who's not. There's something called home rule. Certain things have to be taken care of through the legislature. There's a bill that's supposed to be coming out, I would imagine in the next 2 weeks, addressing the issue, where it can be beefed up, more modern use of police force is going to be put in place, a whole lot of other stuff that they didn't tell me about. But it is on the radar to be addressed. Any given Saturday night, Sunday night, there is drag racing. The Birmingham Police Department does not have a vehicle who can catch one of those vehicles. You're not equipped to handle that. You don't have a car to handle. But something needs to be done.
I will say this, we actually have the citywide traffic task force that's going to be addressing it. We have North Precinct, we have some additional units that we're using on Friday about that. Allison is the lead officer for the area, he's doing what he can, and I'm not at liberty to give full details on it. The department is coming up with a plan right now to try and help get this, that we will hopefully be able to get a good handle on it and get it done soon. And as far as what we're saying about the House bill, it's actually the House Bill 29, prohibition of motor vehicle speed contests, et cetera, public roadways and highways. It went into effect on August 1st. It's now a misdemeanor crime, it's no longer a traffic offense. So with it being a misdemeanor crime, we will be able to arrest and impound the vehicle. So that's actually going to help us out tremendously on this kind of stuff.
Arrested and found, that's progressive though, right?
It's actually going to be first offense. If you were stopped, if we're able to get a hold of someone who is, doing one of these speed contests, especially driving, they will be arrested. Their vehicle will be towed. It gets progressive in the offense. It's actually a class C misdemeanor. It can progress to a class A misdemeanor if there was any injury or severe property damage. I believe it is a class A misdemeanor, and the license will be suspended for up to 6 months.
Okay. Is there something in there about confiscating the vehicle?
There is, and it's saying that it can be contested by the person.
Right.
So.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Any other questions regarding that?
When Vision Racing several months ago, that they ran over one of the officers, not the under the feet here, for saying one of them perpetrator, and he said he should stay in his lane, which made me even more curious. The next weekend, their mayor, their governor, they called in the national park, and they took in like a SWAT team. I'm telling you, it's an amazing video to watch what went down in the city.
Where was that? Where was it?
And I personally am not opposed to that. I don't know why we can't make that. I mean, I think y'all do a great job. This is not a reflection of the police at all. We don't have, we want like to do that. And why are we not going, if this doesn't work,
I said the department is with the mayor's office, other agencies, there is a plan. Big with the red.
See last Friday night, we did have a hard road, we like, flashing, we like, it was quiet during that time. I guess they got called up. There's any racing society.
That's what we're trying to do, that's, most of the things, either, one or four units, and that's their primary goal is to be downtown, to be visible, to have their, whose lights on, and so eventually also have that, because some of it has moved over to press commitments, well, they're almost against it, it's 12 first. And so we're trying to split it up between the two, address it before it gets to be a problem. Unfortunately, Friday, Saturday nights is when a lot of stuff's happening in the city, and those units are still subject to assisting with other property calls. If we look at someone shot, the homicide, they will that the rest of them.
Looking at y'all are driving 78, where it's not Captain D's is right there in Orangefield. I've never seen so many black marks in my life. I mean, it looks like about 100 cars. You've seen it just got out. Yeah, well, I saw Crestwood today, and I'm telling you, that from the 78 out in that area, I've never seen anything like it. You know, I grew up in redneck. So.
Good anything when you see.
We are, the simple clubs. So has been able to speak with people there, speak with the owners, explain to them, and it's posted. But Snow, on the other hand, with the continuing, it's been blocking kind of traffic, it's going to slow down.
That's what a lot.
Talking about sidewalk blocking, that nature of those are subject. So there are other places that are working with this that are doing so much. It's the location, and so we're gonna. Actually, I have a little bit more I was gonna cover. UBV stuff and everything, the people's getting more into. We are addressing that. We actually did an individual that were linked into the Delta UBV, so a lot of unfortunately, with it being, even though it's a felony, even though it's a serious problem, it's County's office. That is a signature bond that they're given, so it's probably another spend 4 hours.
Vanessa voted. Sorry. Before anyone leaves, Vanessa voted and it's tied. And so I think we need to vote again. Just, I don't want anyone to leave before, it's a tie right now. Okay, did she not vote the first time? Okay, we need to do, I think we just need to do a clean vote, then everybody's still on. Did you vote?
Did you vote? President will have to. No, I'm asking for a reason, because the president will have to break the tie.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for telling me that. So in the future, if we have a tie,
Yeah.
as long as I didn't vote.
Yes.
Okay.
And please remember to sign it if y'all did. It's okay, the times, it's a tie. So.
No, it's fun. It's not a problem. So we are still attempting to address that, doing as much as we can. We have individuals identified. Please continue to come this or something like that. We just never need to have these issues. We need to track it and but it's better. A two tron is $15,000 below. So if yes, ma'am. And that's the reason why it's going to be split it to be just kind of covers it to get back out. That doesn't mean we're not going to still for jobs and everything. Yeah. So. Any questions regarding that? Okay, lastly, I wanted to speak about the homeless encampments. The way that's being addressed right now is if there is an issue, if there's location, if we're notified about it, we can act upon it immediately, process, we have to contact the mayor's office, which can to go out there. Advise them that everybody hours of documents there, and then send out one group to try to locate, and then it will be the process. So I think there's a process.
If there's a homeless, if I go out and turn my.
Yes.
They have to, we're getting our notice.
That's.
Where did that come?
That's.
I'm sorry, we used to have like homeless people that, and I'm not into homeless. But now we have got, I mean, I've been called every vulgar name, walking down the street finding my own business. To where I cross the street now to avoid them, and we got one lady that got so hot, I've never seen a guy. So if we see these people, they're allowed to stay there 48 hours. I just can't.
Donna, let me just also speak that the CAP is still available. We're still a resource for you. We do safety escorts.
Absolutely.
If you feel uncomfortable in a situation, if you're leaving an office, if you're leaving your residence, you are walking to a parking deck, your vehicle 2 blocks away, you're more than welcome to call CAP. We will come out and do a safety escort. I think he's really referring to most are encampments, and that's something we're really working on as well with, like under the viaducts, those who have established a quote unquote residence in a separate area. And we've been given that same process. So we can still come out and assist you if you see someone in blue cap with their shirt. We can do that as well. But yeah, I know the process.
So water caps hours, just, I know what they are, but just tell us.
So we're 7 a.m. to midnight. And we can go out there with safety escorts. We can do that to assist with the way. We cannot be physical with an individual. We cannot forcibly remove them. We can ask them to move along, and then we would start the process with BPD. And start with them.
Last meeting was brought up the camp where you go up 3rd Avenue North, where the old farmers market is big behind there. I mean, it looked like a, subdivision on it. And I was on the City Walk Advisory. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago. And they were talking about that this guy had offended some of the children over at the gardens that had said inappropriate things. I mean, to me, we're talking about children. Why was he not hauled out of there immediately? And not just one child, different children that reported inappropriate things from this person. And then he was left until they could, I guess, come up with the 48 hours.
So you're saying some homeless guy or lady could put their little can right in your front door, and then you can't move them for 48 hours? The concept is?
That's depending now, is this on a private residence or is this on the public sidewalk?
I assume it's on the sidewalk, but you have to go through your
process.
doors to get to the sidewalk.
Get in contact with the mayor's office.
So
Now, if someone is intruding on private property, that's different. That would go with the.
we have one laying right in front of our garage. Could not even get out of the garage until they could, for instance, unless you ran over it.
Please call about that. I would like to be able to get that addressed. But this is what we have been getting so far. Yes, sir.
But panhandling is not allowed, and menacing is not allowed, is that correct?
In what regards?
With the homeless.
Just asking for.
There's this bridge between Mars Avenue and 1st Avenue South, underpass, 20th Street. 20th Street. So there, I haven't seen them in the last week. I think somebody made a cap about a couple weeks ago, and they are kept out. But I think there's certain things that the homeless people can't do, can't panhandle. They can get them for menacing. Surely, ma'am, they can get them for the things that you described. So are you saying that mayor's office said leave them alone for 48 hours?
If it's an encampment, we go through the process. If it's a criminal act, we still address that in the appropriate manner. So if it is harassment, of that nature, that would be immediately. That's going to be a criminal offense.
It was not taken down immediately. They left because it was considered an encampment. He was staying there. I couldn't, my mind couldn't wrap around why he's allowed to do that, but that's actually what happened. Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem across the United States, it's not just Birmingham. You got other municipalities who in the past have brought their people, their homeless people into the city that was in Birmingham and dumped them out in the park, right there. I've seen that. The problem is getting worse. And the homeless are to the point that they don't want to be housed. They don't want you taking care of them. They want to sleep in the open. They want to sleep under the stars. But there's something that has to be done.
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. And sometimes it's just a show of force where two police officers come down and have a conversation and say, buddy, you need to keep moving. Many of them will keep moving.
If there is an issue, please still call us. Just specifically regarding encampments, if they have established encampments, that's the way to put it. If they have a tent and property surround the house, that's where we're gonna have to go through the process. I'll take the mayor's office and then it would be addressed in that manner. But any criminal act will still be handled.
Spoke with council. Now that where the depot, building is, there was someone that was out on the sidewalk, they got a call, they go down there, sitting on the sidewalk, and they basically said, I feel safe here, and they couldn't make a move, it was public sidewalk, even though they were blocking the entrance into that building. And it's exactly what he's saying, you have to take it the next step, the next time, so just I'm glad that we're having this discussion, because we really need to be aware of how this to me is out of control. That's my opinion. Okay, has anybody else got any report? I'm gonna run over there. Trying to stay with them. Okay, so, I'm gonna want James Fowler and Christine are here for Bob, because I reminded them. So, okay, so, one thing I do want to talk about, I got this email that applied the UAD, Live Smart Healthy Community Leadership Academy, and it runs from October through March. And they're looking for some nominees from our neighborhoods. If there's anybody that would like to participate, it sounds like a great program, great learning opportunity, and you get lunch at Sam. So please let me know before I leave tonight so I can turn it in. I did send her an email and ask her if I could turn it in after tonight since we were meeting. And I'm sorry my neighbors got my throat on this stuff. Okay, big thing coming up. As you know, we no longer have a vice president. So we are going to, is there anyone here that would like to nominate someone? I've sent it out. We are open for nominations for our vice president. Annie, take it. Come up here and tell us a little bit about yourself, because we can vote on this tonight. And Daniel has voiced me an interest, and he's been going to meetings and things that we don't even attend, and so very. We need to.
Yes, but I'm too attached to all of us. Dan Christensen, I've been in the neighborhood about 6-8 months now, I believe. Down Gallery Lofts, and coming to community meetings ever since got started. Big interest in making sure that as this is a place people live, we get treated just as any other neighborhood would, with the respect and dignity people come through is for the people who live here. So bit about me. I'm an engineer. My wife dragged me down here for her jobs, but she's an Auburn grad, so everyone can vote against me for that.
Anybody got no questions?
Okay, good evening. My name is Andre Boston. I serve as your community resource representative for the city of Birmingham. It's my duty to actually open up the floor for nominations for vice president. So if there are, you got one nominee, do you have any other nominees for the position of vice president? Okay. All in favor? Sorry.
Since you're going by parliamentary procedure, you need to ask 3 times.
Are there any other nominations for vice? Final call for Vice.
Going, what?
So the nomination be closed.
All right. How many yays? Any nays?
Give him a hand. There we go. I wanted to read this out now, if I should. Is that my Zoom request, I'd like to say thank you to Andre. He's been very good to me and I've kind of first thing on Saturday, so I'm sorry. Apologize. I kept saying, where's my Zoom money?
I accept your apology.
Thank you. So, but I did get an email that my Zoom has been, that our money's been, the POB's been placed and the signs. So hopefully he's put in the request for the signs and we're waiting to hear back from the sign. So that we can-
Hopefully you will have a.
yeah, hopefully. Because we did go, something has happened in my Park Place people. I made phone calls, I went over to Park Place, put signs up, all that. Thank you so much for helping me. We did Saturday and Sunday and posted them because we really got the Park Place involved with us. You know, we're a big community. It's very important that everybody's involved and everybody gets to say so. So, you know, if you see somebody, you're the co-star, I think you live over here, come there, maybe, really, I mean, because you had a small group. And then I don't know if it's the youth, but I did reach back out to church. Church was providing transportation and they were just all the way back. Okay, so, so what my issue is.
Good evening. I'm gonna get on the microphone. I don't know if I too much needed. I have a few more. I did some else tonight because I have some book that. How's everyone doing? Okay, we've had a busy meeting and I don't want to hold everyone too long. Today was city council meeting. Councilor is at a transportation convention on autonomous vehicles in Michigan. He'll be returning on Wednesday. The city is really looking into potential grant opportunities and studies that we can partner with our transit authority about potential implementation of autonomous vehicles, really more kind of on the university side with the University of Alabama at Birmingham. So there are several delegates who are in Michigan riding electric vehicles manned by a machine. So all very interesting work. As far as what's happening in the city, there's a lot happening. I have September announcements in here because September, of course, we will be celebrating the 60th anniversary of the civil rights movement in the city of Birmingham. So there are a lot of events, including Justice Ketanji Brown coming to 16th Street Baptist Church. It is not a ticketed event, no reservation. It's first come, first served for seating. Also, I want to highlight on page 4, the Academy of Civic Engagement is now taking application. The orientation starts on September 7th. This is a great opportunity for you to learn how local government works. It's only a few sessions. I promise you it will be life-changing if you haven't done it. Has anyone in here done it? Okay, wow. Do we have any? Okay, great. So please, more people signing up. Knowledge is power. If you have questions, as always, feel free to email us. Tonight, we have good representation from the city with our community development department. But if you have any questions or concerns, as always, we have to go through our governmental affairs liaison to get questions, concerns, answers. We have them riding around the district a lot today. We were near the East Lake and Lahoma area and Gate City area doing a ride along with our community resource officer that is our liaison for that area. So if you have problems, issues, and if we are not quick
to turn around your request, for anything, just bear with us. It's three of us. I'm looking to finalize a part-timer, but please leave us a message. Please also send us an email. It's probably not a night that goes by. Unfortunately, I work 7 days a week. And so I'm always checking emails and anything. I like that email trail. It allows us to move it forward to where it needs to go on the governmental affairs side. So we'll have a paper trail of what we've done and who has contacted us. We are also creating a GIS map grid using a CRM system where we're tracking our hotspots in the district. So that's why today we were in Wahoma. We've been getting a lot of calls about, unfortunately, loose dogs in residential areas attacking. For example, a lot of other things we get hot that we call a hotspot, and we'll go check out and do a deep dive investigation into it. Any immediate questions, concerns? Questions? Congratulations to the new vice president. We look forward to working with you. And please invite your neighbor to your neighborhood association meeting. Please save the date. Oh goodness, now I have my phone in front of me. September. I'm sorry, y'all. I want to get y'all on the right dates. September 17th. Saturday, September 17th will be Counselor's annual Safe Summer Series concert. It will be hosted at City Walk. This is the third year he's done it, and the second year we've done it at City Walk. We had about over 2,000 people that came out on a Sunday under the freeway at the amphitheater right behind the Museum of Art. We hosted about 10 food trucks. We had a resource fair with over 25 vendors, and we kicked off with the Parker High School drum line. So we'll be kind of doing that again. We're finalizing our artists, but again, that's Sunday, September 17th, City Walk, 5 o'clock. Again, we'll have good music, food trucks, and resources. Yeah.
That's larger law areas. Which is great. That association. Individual group meeting for that group. This office is moving our. Sometimes we just don't see everything. So the other laws that should be.
Yeah.
So is he splitting up in subgroups that sort of.
So we actually did not host that. A Central City resident hosted it at her loft. She opened it up and they have their email served list within their building. And I think she has some other loft dwellers downtown. And she literally opened up her door, invited us to come to do an informational. We literally took stacks of these. We told them who the neighborhood officers were in Central City, and we actually told them the formal mechanism to talk about complaints and issues when to come to your neighborhood association. Absolutely nothing to undermine the neighborhood association. We believe in it. Counselor and I are former neighborhood presidents. President of CAB, I was the vice president of CAB. We served together, but they actually did their own loft social because even getting into apartment complexes is hard because it's not like a residential neighborhood where we can literally go knock on a door, right, and get a response. We do that at times. When the other week we got a permit request in PUP about someone trying to open an event center in a residential area, and we knew that that person had not talked to residents in those houses, and we would have knocked on the door. We don't have that pleasure with loss. So, with that being said, if you live in a loft building, rooftop, open spot, or you want to open your own loft, we'll come over. We'll come over and do that. We were there for almost 2 hours. If you want to do that, and if people just aren't ready to come to the neighborhood association, but we did drive them to come to the neighborhood association, but that was hosted by that individual building. And we explained that, and I guess they run their loft like a HOA or something like that, where they gather and have events. So we'll come to those social gatherings if we need to, however we can get people, but the end goal is to drive them to this meeting.
I got invited, and I think it said that to come and discuss with council and plan issues that downtowners face, but that's why we have a neighborhood meeting, that's why we have this, and I myself think that really, that's where the emphasis should be. And like I said, we've got to reach out to, we've got from this side represented, but we've got to get some stalls. I mean, I'm not from the worst Paul Linton. And, if you want to help me make phone calls, would be great, because I really want us to become one big neighborhood. So that with that neighborhood, we have more people we get involved, the more power we have. And we don't want to go, this is just I don't like that. This is my opinion of hosting. Anybody can do what they want to do, for sure. Is that when you start congregating and you have small groups, there's so many other groups that are left out. I'm talking about from other areas, when it should be all of us. And what I'm saying is, come to meetings and please encourage people to come, because we can be quite powerful if we get that. And with that, like I went to the meeting Saturday in Woodlawn over there, and they were talking about their garbage cans. Well, you know how they keep their nice wrought iron garbage cans empty that's not running over? Has Bluetooth. It notifies the company when it's done. And I'm like, why can't we get some of those? We can't even get the dumpsters empty half the time. I mean, and you learn so much from other communities. How is that community is growing like wildfire? And that's what we need to be doing here too, is growing like wildfire. And, encapsulating everybody. That's me. Okay.
First, I like to, I was supposed to agree like that. I know that you can, but we're not all as getting the meeting. Community said, well, I think probably another very trigger. Part of the time, so we're agree. I think, yes, we do it casually, but I think we're officially active. This very small. I think that's like some of the constitution of that. I think we should take care of it. It does. That is the other lot of things that.
Okay, I understand that. And again, people can gather for social gatherings, and it was really a meet and greet. And I would say, if you live in a building and you know that folks are not attending the neighborhood association, maybe have a social in your building where you invite one of the neighborhood officers, the president, vice president, or secretary to come speak and inform people about the neighborhood association where they feel invited to come. And again, that's what we wanted out of that. We drove into them several times. Counselor said, look, we have 17 neighborhoods. We have neighborhood association meeting. It is impossible for us to knock on every building, every business, but this is where we want to drive people to. But if you want to have other social gatherings where you can call it the Central City Neighborhood Association gathering at your building, and you invite folks from other buildings to come, we would love for a meet and greet, and that's what I consider it. So we'll be there if wherever we need to be and wherever we're invited.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And I still remember we have some subcommittees we're trying to build up, the beautification community, history. I'd like to see if we could get a neighbor that would be interested to go into the planning and zoning committee, because some of these meetings they have when they're deciding to redo a building, you learn so much about what you in your building is going to have to go through. So anybody's interested in that, it's on the email we sent out. And how many emails we sent out? 300 and something.
A lot.
It's almost like 335, and I hate to tell y'all this, but MailChimp tells on you, we had how many, 80 something that was open. Yeah. And then we were out Saturday and Sunday posted, and it's, really do encourage your neighbors to come. You can't make them, but please encourage them. So, okay. Ready to go.
Is there some unfinished business on beach time? Did we get the final count on the 80 gas stations?
Yes,
Was it announced? Maybe I went to sleep.
yeah, no, you're talking.
We had 6 in favor, 6 opposed. We had a tie, and then Donna broke the tie. So it's 6 in favor, 7 opposed. Final vote.
6 in favor, 7 opposed.
Final vote.
Anybody got anything?
I want to make sure that we have addresses so that we can go back and verify those.
If everyone that voted, if you can hang back, I'll get a piece of paper, a couple papers, you can write your name and your address. I don't know another way to do it that's not that way, so
Verify that, by the vote.
Yeah.
if you have pen and paper on you and you wanna write it and drop it off to me,
We can write it on sign it.
or you can do that, either way. We'll get it before everybody leaves and that'd be great.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, no, I just, something just gets so. No, go ahead.
Okay, what, is there?
No, I thought we stopped the vote because she was getting votes coming in. And the vote was 5-6. Now the vote is just one came in to make it 7-6.
We counted in person. Vanessa gave her vote shortly after, or at the same time, but I didn't see it because the chat's on the computer and I'm typing. When the police officers were talking, that's when I paused and I said, we have another vote, we're now tied. And then the motion was made for Donna to break the tie. If everyone's still here, everybody's gonna sign in. That's right. But we'll get everyone to fill it out and verify, and please put your address on. And again, if you don't live in Central City, your vote does not count. So if you don't live here like me, don't vote.
Oh, business. Yeah.
Somebody got